Hey guys, what's up? Unapologetic apologist here. I use a Sprinter van for my business, and I've had a injector leak for about 2 years now that I haven't addressed. This is how bad it's gotten. So I might do a little video on how I'm gonna get this injector out. I suspect it's just this one leaking. Could be this one too. These three look okay. Even though there is carbon buildup back there, I don't suspect those are leaking. I think that it's just shooting back there because there's a cover on here with a gasket, and it does a pretty good job of keeping the mess inside of the top of this block. First thing I'm gonna do is just clean up all this gunk with a scraper and try to get as much of it out as I can. I am gonna put a couple of these cover bolts back on. I got them soaking in PB Blaster right now because some of them are really heavily corroded. And I'm just gonna put a couple of these just in place just to keep these threads free and clean. I'm just gonna vacuum out like all these big chunks, just as much as I can get. I'm not gonna show all of this. I'm just gonna literally be going back and forth, just cleaning all this out until I get the basically completely clean. That's what I want. I want this completely clean so nothing can fall inside. I don't want anything going inside where the injectors seat in. This stuff is real. Some of this stuff is real hard. Like that stuff, oh man, that's like a rock. So you will have to like work back and forth. I'm literally just going to try to get everything free first. All the big stuff I'm going to try to get free and vacuum up as much as possible. I'm going to probably take like, a pick that I have in my truck or my work bag, because I do commercial refrigeration. So I already have, a lot of tools on hand to do this job. And I would suggest, if you are going to do this job, having the right tools is the biggest thing for any job, especially if you're working on cars or trucks. It's even more important to have the right tools. One of the biggest things that I would say while you do this, and again, I'm not a pro, this is my first time too, but I've watched a lot of videos of guys like Florida Van Man, and he's like the smartest guy when it comes to sprinters like this. He really knows his stuff. And one thing I just want to reiterate is just patience is key in this. Do not, like, I'm using a pick right now. I'm going like this, and I'm being very careful because I already noticed some weird things, like this is a little ripped up, and that's got me concerned because there's exposed wire in here. So I'm going to be very, very careful while I'm cleaning this to try not to damage any of these delicate wires that go to the injectors. Because I don't have any replacement wire for this. It's probably very high temp wire. I do have some wire on my truck, but you really got to use the right stuff. That's the important thing here. So just be careful and be patient while you do this when you're scraping away with a pick. Don't just go scraping like a caveman, right? Just carefully pick away. Look at what you're doing. See where your pick is. Don't just blindly scrape in. Like, look at where you're going in and just carefully loose. Like, I'm not even applying a lot of pressure here. I'm just lightly pushing. A lot of this stuff is just breaking up super, super easy because I heated this thing up before I started. That's the other thing. I took this thing for a ride down to, the parts store, which is like 15 minutes away here, and I just got, some cleaner and stuff like that. And, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back, 30 minutes. I was at 180 degrees on my gauge, or 185 or whatever on my coolant. So, this thing is plenty heated up, and that's probably a big reason why I'm having success right now and why this stuff is just very easily breaking up with a pick. I haven't even started to use any chemical or anything. I'm just working away as much of this loose debris as I can before I even think about using the chemical. So that way, I can get, the most out of this chemical. This is not cheap chemical. This is very expensive degreaser. It works good, but, I want to make sure I can do this job with the materials that I already have purchased, which is about 3 cans. So I haven't been at this very long, and already I've gotten a lot of this carbon off. All I'm doing is just lightly scraping. Just see how I'm holding this. I'm not holding it like that, roughly scraping. I'm just lightly using my fingers and just gently scraping like this. And all this stuff is coming loose. Like, this is literally a war of attrition here, you know? We're not, you know, I got all day today. I got all day tomorrow. This is the weekend for me. So it's Saturday morning that I'm starting this roughly. And, you know, I got a lot of time. So I'm not in a rush. And I'm just loosening it up, vacuuming, and then just literally just going like this, lightly scraping around, being really careful with these wires here that go to the injector. Loosening it up, vacuuming it up. Just like this. And it's all coming right out. It's really not that bad. So I'm gonna do this for a while longer, and then eventually I'll start the chemical. I've only been at this, totally honest, for about 20 minutes. Look at the difference already. You can already start to see the injectors and, you know, see things that you couldn't see before. I did just start to spray degreaser just now. That's why it's looking a little wet. I just now applied it. The rest of the stuff, honestly, just came loose with a pick. It's still a huge mess, don't get me wrong, but, you know, moved a majority of that initial carbon buildup. And with this, I just have, you know, my crappy shop vac. Don't use a good shop vac for this job. Use your crappy one. And I got a hose, and I also, a while ago, I bought this little extension that's super thin. I bought this for like cleaning out, you know, ovens and fryers. I do commercial refrigeration and kitchen equipment repair, so, you know, I already have some of this stuff just handy. And I'll tell you what, this hose has been a huge help. It's like thin, and it fits right in between this. I haven't had to remove any connectors. I took a pin off my return fuel line. I was gonna pull that, but I was like, hey, let me try to get this hose first. And, you know, the hose fit right in, so I haven't even had to pull anything yet. No, you know, other than the cover itself. So, you know, this is getting in there and getting in between those tight areas. So, you know, this little kit, it's like a dryer cleaning hose. It's on Amazon for like $10 or something like that. I bought it years ago. I bought a few of them, actually. I bought one for my actual dryer, and then I bought one for cleaning ovens and fryers. It's nice, you know, it's a cheap little tool, and when it breaks, I just replace it. So this is after a few hours of soaking and vacuuming. It's just really starting to get cleaned up now. I still got some gunk, but it's slowly making progress and just, you know, coming out. But I do believe this is my primary leak right here, is out of injector 1. I'm a few hours in at this point now, and I've just been cleaning. You can just see this is already so much cleaner. I got just like some degreaser soaking in there, but a majority of this has already come out. I've only been at this for about maybe 2 hours. I haven't even scrubbed or anything. What I've been doing is just on other things around my property, and then just letting this soak, and then coming back, scraping it, vacuuming it up, letting it soak, you know, working it out little bits at a time. But it is slowly coming out. And again, like, I pulled this pin on this return line. I think this return line will come right out once I get all this once I get all this gunk off and this degreaser cleaned. I do think that I really just have a feeling this job isn't going to be as terrible as I thought with the pneumatic puller, but, you know, we shall see. I do have some injector sockets to get these nuts off and back on and everything. You know, just if you're going to do this job, again, the most important thing is just make sure you have as many specialty tools as you can, like a pneumatic puller for the injectors, you know, the sockets for getting these fuel lines off, because, you know, these are tightened down pretty freaking tight. You don't want to round them off. Open end, I wouldn't want to use an open end on there. Maybe a 5-point. I wouldn't even really want to use a 5-point. There's a reason why they make fuel line sockets, and you know, that's what they're for. So you should get them. They're really not that expensive. It's like $40 for a set, and it's totally worth it. But yeah, once I get all this clean, I'm gonna take, you know, this line off, either swing it or whatever I'm gonna do. Get this clip off, you know, pull this connector off where the wires are and the leads for the injector. And then the last thing that I'm really not looking forward to is just this hold down bolt, which I've heard is a real pain. I'm hoping the previous owner of this thing didn't try to reuse a hold down bolt when they did a seal, because I'm in for some serious trouble if that's the case. You know, you really got to be careful when doing these, because that bolt can snap, especially if it was reused. It stretches when it's torqued down, so it's really not good to reuse. I got 2 sets of seals and bolts. I have plenty, so. But yeah, that's where we're at. Alright, what's up, guys? I'm back at it again, and I got really lucky on this one. I haven't pulled the injector yet, but I just want to show you now that I got everything clean. So, it looks like I only have a leak, as far as I can see, out of injector 1, which is right there, which is nice. So that thing should just come right out, no problem. I'm gonna let this thing heat up for a little bit, and today's the day, so I'm getting that thing out and replacing that seal. So need to try to pull the injector. I got the return line off, and I do have these loose. I recommend for those, don't even try a flare wrench. You might get lucky with a flare wrench. Just get a set of these, man. It'll make it 100 times easier. I had no difficulty at all getting those compression nuts loose. So, you know, with that tool, it helps a lot. The return lines is just a pin. I know some people have had trouble with these. They really do just pop right off. You pull the pin out, and then you want to get really equal pressure. What I did is I took my heat gun here and I applied heat to that thing on the top just to get it nice and hot, about right when the diesel started smoking. And then I just applied a nice amount of pressure. It popped right out easy for me after that. But at first, I was trying to pull it without using the heat gun, and I thought I was doing something wrong because it was not coming. So they're plastic, they're brittle. I know that Mercedes makes a steel version. I just don't have any interest in ordering any parts or waiting. I want to be done with this now. Maybe I'll order that in the future, but right now mine's working fine. Again, with the heat gun, it came right out. So, you know, I'm getting ready to pull this clip, which I'm going to be really careful with. This wire's all brittle. This is a real mess. So once I get done with that, then I'm going to, you know, move the hold down bolt, remove the hold down bolt, and then hopefully everything will go smoothly. But that's the hard part, right, is getting the injector out. The thing to this, I haven't even started thinking about removing this hold down bolt until I got that thing completely clear on the inside. So you can literally see it's almost completely clear. I might even try to clean it up a little bit. That's probably good enough, because what I want to avoid is I don't want it to get stripped. So I'm going to probably use my impact. I'm going to really hammer in the Torx bit in there, get it nice and tight so that it won't strip. So I'm hoping that it's just going to, I'm either going to, snap it in half, which I really don't want to happen, or it's going to come loose. So I'm not stripping it, that's for sure. So, yeah. That's one of the hardest parts is getting that bolt out, and if you can get that bolt out without it breaking, you're in really good shape. So this whole job is just patience. I'm in no rush to get this done. I just want it done right, and this truck is really important to me. So I'm just taking my time, not getting mad, not getting frustrated. I don't care how it goes. I'm just going to take my time no matter what. And I think if you just go into this job with that mindset, it'll go a lot better for you. It's turning out to be a little bit more of a pain than I anticipated. Is just this little connector. This thing is just so, my goodness, it's just got so much on there. I'm working at it right now. I got this little part kind of freed up here, right here. I do have some, see, I got some play right there, but when I pull on this, it's just solid. So I don't really want to try messing with this thing yet until I get more of this stuff off. So if yours is a mess like mine and it just got all over this connector, you got to really be patient with this thing. See, there's a bunch in the back that's kind of preventing it from being pushed down. So I'm going to clean all that up and get this thing good before I try to pull it off. Otherwise, it's just going to break. I'm back, well, a couple days later now. I had to take a break from this thing, and I realized I didn't have long enough Torx bits, which was just really stupid on my end. So I waited for these to come in and get down in there because the problem was my impact bit wasn't long enough. And I cannot stress enough to you guys, this part you do not want to mess around with. Get like, you know, long Torx bits with a 3/8 drive on the end of it. Don't try using like a handle Torx or like an impactor with like a Torx bit or something like that. Don't even bother with that, dude. You will regret it. So I waited a couple days because I was kind of dreading this part just because I wasn't sure how tight that bolt was going to be. But honestly, I got this bit in there. Once I got the bit in, I literally, you know, without that on there, I put this bit on and I just took a hammer and for just, you know, a few taps or whatever right on the center. Made sure that thing was in there nice and tight, right? So there's no movement back and forth. And I'm telling you, this thing, for me at least, it came right up. It was super easy. I put a lot of downward pressure and then just cracked it. It cracked right loose instantly for me. I didn't have an issue whatsoever. This bolt came right out. The engine is cold. It's been sitting for 2 days. I really do believe this is the best way to do this. I know a lot of guys say heat it up, and maybe for the injector that is a good idea. I heated it up before I cleaned, but I waited for this thing to cool before I even thought about touching that bolt. You do not want to touch that bolt when it's hot. It's aluminum. It will rip. It will shear. You're going to have issues, and then it's going to just ruin the whole job. You're going to have to tap it, or you're going to have to, you know, replace that whole top cover. And I mean, that's just a nightmare. So this super easy. It's coming right up for me. I really did not. I almost wonder if it was even torqued correctly to begin with because it came out so easily. I want to show you the condition of these threads. I did not get lucky at all. I put PB Blaster and degreaser in this thing for 2 days to just really soak up and break that stuff up. And I mean, just given the fact that this is wet all the way down to the threads tells me that it penetrated, you know? I didn't even spray anything. I sprayed a little bit of, you know, PB Blaster on top. Then I vacuumed that head out real good before I started. So there was no, you know, residual PB Blaster that, you know, went in there. This was literally from the original time when I sprayed it before I pulled it out. So that's how you know PB Blaster just does a damn good job. I mean, this is all the way down in those threads. So, I mean, this thing is just caked. I can't imagine how dirty it is inside of there. So I'm going to have to clean that up once I get this clip out and, yeah, this is going to be a project, I'm not going to lie. So here's where I'm at. I got the fork out and everything. It came out good. I'm getting that all cleaned. And I'm going to get ready to start working on this injector. I just got a feeling I'm going to get really lucky with this thing because everything is just kind of moving around and loose. An injector's still tight, but I just know this thing's going to come out for me because I've been degreasing this thing for freaking days. I mean, it's just patience is key with this, honestly, especially if you're not an auto mechanic. Definitely be patient, otherwise just hand it off to your mechanic, you know. But this is where I'm at now, and that fork was a little tricky just because you don't want to damage it. And this is, again, another thing with patience. Like, all I did with this is I just slowly worked it back and forth with a flat head on the outside of it. And I'll just show you guys because I don't know if you're like me, like I like the small details, and I just feel like no one really gets into the little small stuff like this because a lot of guys are like, yeah, you should just know that or you shouldn't be working on it, you know. But a lot of this stuff is definitely experience, just knowing how to be careful with stuff. But again, when this is in here, all I did is I just took my flathead and I stuck it like that, and I worked it back and forth, and eventually, you know, it wasn't really moving much at all until it got looser and looser and looser and looser until eventually I took my needle nose, I got it centered, I put one on each side, and I just gently lifted it back and pulled it up. So you don't want to force it, you don't want to hammer it, because if you damage this thing, I mean, you need this to be in good condition for the injector to seal, you know. So, but yeah, that's kind of what it looks like out. So you can see there's a little indent here, and there's a little bubble there. That's also what helps hold it in place, because there's only one screw, so there's nothing to kind of keep this from going left to right. So that's what that little bubble is. I did have a very difficult time getting this tool, and it is very tight in there. what I had to do, because I was worried I was going to damage the coil, is I just put a little lube right on that point where it was contacting the coil head, and then I just gently wiggled it, and then it went right in. I got past there. I didn't damage the coil or anything like that. Again, for experienced guys, they might be laughing that I'm even, I'm just telling you this because from the perspective of someone who's not a mechanic, like I'm a refrigeration technician, I work on a lot of different stuff, I have mechanical ability, I have experience with working on injectors. So I would like to know this, if I was a little less experienced, I would like to know this little trick. There's a lot of small little things about doing this job, and again, rules to it too, because if your ability isn't there, then you should not even attempt it. But if you're confident in your mechanical ability, and you can be patient, and you get all the right tools, like even just to do this job, this isn't even nearly everything I had to, this is a set I've had, but like, I bought these bits, I bought this puller for like $300. I mean, I had to buy a bunch of different stuff. I mean, I got injector sockets here to pull those off. Other special bits that I got. I got a cleaner kit that I'll show you guys too. It's important to have the right tools when you're doing a job. I just can't stress that enough. It doesn't matter what the job is, but this is not a cheap job either. If I had a shop do this, even just one injector, they might charge me like $600-700 just to do the one. It might even be $1,000 because, it's just so much labor, you know what I mean? And the time cleaning everything. So, I mean, now I have these tools forever, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, there's a trade-off to everything. So this is where I am right now. I got that in, and I'm getting ready to hook my compressor up, and hopefully this thing just comes right out for me. So a little bit of an update. I am making progress, slowly but surely. This thing is coming up. I already got see a lot of play up and down that I did not have before. So it is coming, but man, is this thing in here. It really is, man, and I understand why, people say, this is such a tough job. These things can get really seasoned. I had a cover on this thing. I can't even imagine doing injectors for a living. They got some that are just exposed to the elements, and my gosh, I can't even imagine none. I'm really lucky too, because this is the first injector. I mean, I would have to take the blower, assembly intake off. Maybe I could get into the second. I don't think I'd be able to get to, the fourth or the fifth. Third is pushing it, but fourth or fifth, it would be I don't think it would fit on the fourth and fifth. It's too tight. Honestly, I don't know if you'd even get a wheel puller in there. It almost looks like you'd have to drop the engine. I don't know what else you would do. So, yeah, I'm really fortunate. It's leaking on the front. So, yeah, that's where I'm at now. It's slowly but surely, man. I've just been soaking this thing with penetrating oil. Thought about heating it up. If I don't get it today, I probably will put everything back together and heat this thing up. I just didn't feel the need to. Everything's been coming good, and that screw or that hold down bolt came out so easily. And I know this injector is gonna come out. It's just, again, this is a war of attrition. So I'm just gonna keep adding the penetrating oil, and eventually it'll come out. All right, this job is a huge freaking pain in the nuts, man. This part is the worst, but I finally have movement. See that? Oh my gosh, I have literally, I'm not gonna lie, everything else wasn't bad. This part seriously sucks. It's tough. This thing has been just, it's so seized, it's crazy. And I've been hitting it with this, I had to take this freaking thing completely apart because all the bolts inside had fallen apart. I didn't lubricate it properly, which is something I should have done. I really didn't even think about it, but they don't really tell you these things when you buy these Chinese tools. It was freaking expensive. It works great. And, now that I took everything apart and put all the bolts on the inside on the cylinder together with Loctite, this thing has been kicking ass. It's like a whole new tool. Even out of the box, it wasn't as good as what it's doing for me now. So, yeah, maybe I'll make an update on that, too, how to, take these things apart and, get them straightened out if you buy this off Amazon. But, yeah, that's where I'm at, man. I'm not going to let this freaking thing for all week, literally. 2 days with the degreaser, cleaning it off. Day 3 was getting all the connectors off and trying to be careful. not breaking it, hitting it with the greaser, hitting it with the heat gun. This thing is this is a time-consuming project. All right, I finally freaking won. I got this bitch out. Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh my gosh, just look at that, dude. I don't know if you can see that, but that is just an insane amount. And, unfortunately, our washer did not come out with it, so that's a bummer. Like I was saying, that washer was stuck inside of it. But look, I already got it out. It did not take me long. I've only been at that for about 10 minutes, and this is how I did it. I had a piece of some vinyl tubing. I heated it up. I had this little adapter. Dude, it's hilarious. I took this off a mini air compressor for an air mattress that sucked, but I just kept these adapters, and my gosh, these adapters are awesome. So I just heated that tube up with my heat gun, slid it over, hooked it up to my shop vac, stuck this thing right down in there. It went voop and sucked that washer up like nothing, man. I really didn't have a hard time with that part, so I'm going to check out the surface, make sure it's nice and good, clean everything up, and get this thing pretty much back together, man. I'm pretty much done with this project, so now I'm just back and forth between this. I got like a cleaning kit. I used the brush. I used this Q-tip. I sprayed some brake clean on there. Honestly, look, that thing, it's hard. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good view. It's hard to get a good view, but it is, see, it's almost clean. So I'm just putting this tube in there, vacuuming everything out nice. Gonna shut that off, and then, I've been I already used the brush in there, so you get the brush in there. It's really good to have a vacuum while you do this. But yeah, this is all I'm doing. I'm just going in there. This brush, or this Q-tip has some brake clean. I'm sorry, it's hard to get this thing into focus, but this Q-tip has some brake clean. But yeah, see, it's like so much cleaner. Let's see if I can zoom without this thing being a... Look at that. I mean, it's really starting to come clean. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just going back and forth, between the vacuum and this Q-tip cleaning this thing. I did get this cleaned out, and now that I can really see on that seat good, it's hard for me to show you guys, but if you look, there's just the slightest little bubble, and this isn't as good of shape as I thought. So I'm probably going to need to get the cutters on here to make sure that this mates properly. Because if that seal's not perfect, it's just going to do the same thing again, I know it's kind of hard to see, but it is there. It's at, let's go from 12 all the way down to about 7-ish, 8 o'clock. And you can see it's right there. You can see it better when I go like this and put a shadow there. Alright, so I got this all cleaned up now in here. Let's see. It's hard to see, but that is looking good. A little bit of pitting, but it does look good overall. So that's where I'm at now. I'm cleaning up the injector and gonna start putting this thing back together. All right, I just finished. Got the injector back in. My wire actually split, so I had to put a bunch of silicone and heat shield on there. Torquing that freaking hold down bolt was scary because I thought I was gonna snap it. I swear, a 7NM, and then they're like 90 degrees, and then another 90 degrees. Man, I swear I thought I was gonna snap that thing. I got my uncle with me, and I was like, man, check this out. You think I'm gonna snap this? And even he was, you know, getting a little nervous. We were both a little nervous about it, right? But yeah, so it's running a lot better. My rough idle is gone. Still got a little bit of a mess. I'm not gonna like hose this thing down or anything like that. This is a work truck for me, you know. It's running great. I can't believe that gone. That's making me really happy. So this job was a huge success overall. The hardest part obviously was just getting that injector out. So, but yeah. What's up, guys? I just wanted to review some stuff just about my experience with doing the injector seal. So I realized a lot after I was done with this repair, and I want to advise people of this too, because Gemini has been dicking me around a little bit. Be careful of these chat bots that seem to just quickly get you the information you need, because you know, like I said in this video several times, I'm a refrigeration technician, so I'll often use Gemini to find parts and stuff like that. It's really convenient. I'll just type in a model, tell it to give me a part, and you know, most of the time it's accurate. I have used it for some other things, and it screwed me over before by telling, I don't want to say it screwed me over, it tried to screw me over. It gave me bad info, but I knew it was bad info because, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and it was just, I won't get into specifics, but it was telling me some electrical info that was not accurate. And it was like, you know, die hard on it. So my point is, the reason why I'm bringing that up is this thing was telling me that I needed to use a 17 by 19 reaming cutter flat on my bore. And, you know, I asked it several times, and it told me, yep, that's the reaming tool. And, you know, I couldn't get the 17 by 19 to fit. It just would get almost down there and then not reach because of this little step sleeve. And I thought it was swelling that was preventing me from getting the cutter down. But the reality is that the right cutter is 17 by 17 flat. It's not 17 by 19. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. If you do this job, do not use 17 by 19. That is not the right reamer for a 2006 Dodge Sprinter or T1N, whatever you got. Same truck, just different badge. You need to use a 17 by 17. And you know, I'm driving my truck right now. I'm focused on the road, so I can't really look into the camera. I was stopped at a red light just now, but I really just wanted to update you guys. I had to get back to work, so I haven't really had time to make a video updating this. But yeah, you guys really just got to make sure that seat's got to be perfectly flat. I've heard of a lot of people having leaks after doing this job, and you know, I don't think I have a leak yet. It sounds good, everything's running great, but time will tell. That's the thing, you know, it could run good for days, even weeks, before it blows out the seal, if there is, you know, pitting enough to the point to make it leak. You know, I showed you guys on that video after I noticed when I was looking, those 3 dots were a little bit bigger than I realized when I was reviewing the footage that I had. So, you know, that's a concern. I'm definitely a little concerned about that. But does it mean it'll leak? Not necessarily. It might hold up. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to update you guys on that and give you that info, because I feel like, you know, there's a lot of just, I don't know if it's just because of inaccurate research on the chatbot's part or bad info just getting out there or what. I do know there is a Mercedes, like a BMW or something that uses a 17 by 19, and I guess that's where the confusion comes from. But just to clarify, the correct cutter is a 17 by 17 100%. So again, you know, I'll update you guys as the weeks go by if I have any issues. And obviously, you know, you guys comment on this video. I'll try to be as responsive as I can. I love helping people as much as possible. I know a lot of good diesel mechanics, so even if I don't know the answer to it, I might be able to reach out to one of them and help you guys out. And again, I've said this several times, I'm not a diesel mechanic. This was the first time I've done a diesel injector. I've done injectors on like gas. It's not even close to the same. I mean, you got a boot on a gas injector. It's not the same job. Not even close to the same job. Lower pressure, all that. You know, these injectors are expensive, man. These are really high-tech parts. There's a lot of small little springs and balls inside, and I mean, the technology involved in these things is incredible. But anyway, I don't want to rant on too long. So yeah, I just wanted to summarize this video, giving you guys all that info. And yeah, so thanks. Appreciate you guys.